The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
To say that this news is a shock is an understatement. It's a shock to me, it's a shock to the command staff, it's a shock to the men and women of the police department, it's a shock to the New Haven community.
We are following breaking news tonight. New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson has abruptly retired after city leaders say he admitted to stealing public funds. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. That money was supposed to be used to pay confidential informants who help solve crimes. Instead, city leaders say Jacobson took the money for personal use.
Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot joins us live outside the New Haven Police Station. Kay, what have you learned tonight?
Well, you just heard Mayor Justin Elliger say this came as a shock to him. He said this all unfolded today, and they are still trying to understand why Jacobson did what he did. This morning, the 3 assistant police chiefs in New Haven noticed something was off in the department's account for paying confidential informants. When they confronted now former Chief Carl Jacobson, they say he admitted to taking and using the money. Mayor Elliger says he called a meeting with Jacobson today to put him on administration leave. But just before that meeting, Jacobson submitted paperwork to retire immediately. Mayor Elliger says at this time, no one else is involved. He also says the situation is a betrayal of public trust.
Trust in law enforcement to uphold the law, not to violate the law themselves. Overwhelmingly, New Haven police officers do exactly that every day. They uphold the law. They protect and serve our city, and they keep us safe. So when you see a police officer on the street, please continue to thank them for their service and sacrifice. And you know you have a police department that's committed to doing their jobs with integrity in the best interests of our city. This is a challenging episode in our city's history, but we'll get through this together.
Assistant Police Chief David Zanelli is now the acting police chief and will serve until Mayor Elliger determines the next steps. Since this is still an active investigation, Mayor Elliger cannot get into how much money was taken, the timeline of when this started, or the last time there was an audit in the account. Today, I spoke with a violence prevention coordinator, and he worked very closely with Jacobson. He said all of the things he's accused of just does not align with his character, and we'll also be hearing from the acting chief at 10:30. For now, live in New Haven, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
All right, Kay, thank you. And you will find more coverage of the New Haven Police Chief's sudden retirement and those accusations against him on our free Fox 61 app. Use the QR code on your screen to download it or go to fox61.com 24/7.
I want to be careful this week while driving out on the roads because we could see some icy spots starting tomorrow night.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast tonight. Rach.
Yeah, we are not expecting a lot of ice, but the thing is it doesn't take much ice to make the road slippery. So this is more of a heads up than anything else, not a big ice storm, but a nuisance because we know that, again, just a little bit of ice can go a long way. So this will get started tomorrow night around 8 o'clock. We'll see some light showers or drizzle moving in, but temperatures will be hovering around or even slightly below freezing for some inland areas. So what do you need in terms of this weather impact alert? Just make sure that your front steps are salted, sidewalks are, and allow for some extra travel time. By daybreak on Wednesday, most of the state will be above freezing, but there could still be some lingering slippery spots, especially for our northern valley locations. For tonight, the snow is pretty much out of here. There's a chance there could be a little bit here on the backside for northeastern Connecticut, but we did see some snow showers blow through here earlier, and there was a quick coating in some towns. Temperatures are in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees inland, mid and upper 30s for the Connecticut shoreline, but we will be settling back into the 20s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Tomorrow during the day, we are calm and quiet. We'll start in the 20s. It's a bit warmer by afternoon. High temperatures will return into the mid to upper 30s with mostly cloudy skies. And again, around or after 8 o'clock, we'll bring in some of that light precipitation with that chance for a bit of icing. We'll talk more about it. Your full forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. An hours-long search for a kayaker took a different turn after he was found safe and sound back at his home.
Lots of questions here. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi has the latest from investigators and shares what you need to know to stay safe.
After a kayak and several personal items were found, crews from several agencies searched this part of the Housatonic River Monday, right below the Route 8 overpass. But several hours later, officials learned the kayaker was safe. He left his items in the water because he was cold. It was an intense search Monday.
There's no witnesses able to confirm if there was someone in the kayak or not.
Several agencies, including the Derby Fire Department, responded to an overturned kayak in the Housatonic River around 3 p.m. Crews also found a jacket, an oar, and more.
We found some boots, a GPS device that was active, and a hot coffee cup.
Officials say they were able to trace the last person registered to the vessel, and hours later officials told Fox 61 they got what they were hoping for, a miracle. DEEP tell us they located a man in his 30s back at his home. They did not say where he lives, only that it is outside of town. Officials also tell us the man was out of fishing when he fell out of the kayak. He was able to get to shore while wearing a life jacket. He was alone and lost his phone, and he had no idea crews were searching for him. Once they found him, crews say they returned all his personal items. And while officials want you to be mindful of the water temperature and the risk of hypothermia,
Wear reflective stuff, make sure somebody knows you're going fishing, where you're going to be, wear a life jacket of some sort.
they say if you lose your phone, it's important to find a way to contact authorities so they do not think you're missing. Now, the chief wants to remind you to make sure you always let someone know when you're out and about or fishing, but for sure, let someone know when you get in and out of the water. In Derby, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Thank you, Valerie. Michelle Troconis was back in court today. She's seeking a new trial.
And Troconis is more than a year into a 14-and-a-half-year prison sentence for a conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence in connection with the death and disappearance of Jennifer Farber-Dulos. She is now challenging her conviction by claiming her former defense attorney provided ineffective counsel.
In court today, her legal team argued her former attorney, Andrew Bauman, failed to properly advise and protect her during the police investigation. Bowman's attorneys pushed back. They pointed to his decades of experience and said he acted appropriately throughout the case.
Now, follow-up hearings are scheduled for this Friday and for January 16th. The judge will then have up to 120 days to decide whether Troconis could be granted a new trial or be released from prison pending that decision.
We're following a serious crash that happened on I-91 South in Windsor Locks. We have video of the police response and the backup. Troopers say a car hit a person on the highway near exit 42. We're told their injuries are serious. State police say the scene is clear so far. State traffic website also says there may be some lane closures, though, between exits 44 and 42.
The 12-year-old girl is seriously hurt after police say she was hit by a car. It happened in Bridgeport just after 5 p.m. at the intersection of Park Avenue and Wade Street. Police say when they arrived, they found the girl and the driver at the scene. The girl was taken to a hospital and is in critical condition. The driver is cooperating with officers, and the road is now reopened. Hartford police are trying to find the person who shot a man today. They say it happened just after noon on Warner Street Extension. Police say some neighbors called them to report the shooting, and while officers were on the scene, a gunshot victim in his 20s walked into a nearby hospital, alert and conscious.
An arrest has been made in a homicide that happened 9 years ago in Hartford. Police say in March of 2017, officers responded to reports of gunfire on Allen Green Way. Stephen Payne was shot and killed. He was 36 years old. Today, Hartford police arrested 37-year-old Rakeem Grant and charged him with murder. Grant's now being held on $2 million bond.
Route 8 is back open tonight after a crash this morning in Shelton. It happened near exit 11 north. We know serious injuries were reported, but right now we don't know how many people were hurt or exactly how badly. Part of the road was shut down while officials were on scene, causing some heavy traffic delays. The crash remains under investigation tonight.
A Watertown man's been arrested. Police say he kidnapped and sexually assaulted a woman. On Saturday, investigators say 50-year-old Christopher Gianfrancesco met with the woman in his car. Police say the two knew each other. Gianfrancesco allegedly refused to let her get out of the car and threatened her with a handgun. Court documents show he fired several shots outside the car. Police say he drove the victim to his home, where he then assaulted her. She eventually escaped and called police. Gianfrancesco was arrested yesterday and charged with kidnapping and sexual assault. He's being held on a $2 million bond.
Greenwich police have arrested a man who they say sexually assaulted a woman and threatened to kill her. Police arrested 27-year-old Jeremy Alexis last Tuesday after the victim came to them earlier that day. She told police Alexis attacked her and choked her and threatened her with a knife. Police reviewed the woman's statements, injuries, and other evidence and arrested Alexis that same day. He has been charged with multiple felonies and is being held on bond now.
Today, state officials recognized National Human Trafficking Prevention Month. Every January, the month-long recognition raises awareness on the issue. Lawmakers, advocates, and survivors all gathered today to speak about both sex trafficking and labor trafficking. They say children are especially vulnerable. There have been more than 300 reports of child trafficking reported in the state over the past 2 years. Officials say it's important to talk about the issue so communities can prevent it from happening.
Silence and secrecy are the traffickers' best friends, and therefore events like this raise awareness and shed a light on something that, frankly, most people don't want to think about.
Victims of human trafficking can call local law enforcement or the National Human Trafficking Hotline. That number is on your screen.
Well, former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife appeared in federal court in New York today. The two were captured by U.S. military forces in Caracas Saturday. Maduro, who faces narco-terrorism and weapons charges, pleaded not guilty. Connor Hansen reports.
A historic day here in Manhattan federal court as the former leader of Venezuela is arraigned on narco-terrorism charges.
Deposed Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro pleading not guilty before a federal judge Monday. Maduro telling the judge he is innocent and still the president of his country. The U.S. government alleges Maduro ran a decades-long criminal enterprise, working with cartels to traffic drugs into the United States. His wife is also facing charges. She pleaded not guilty as well.
They were providing government equipment and so forth to different other cartels and so forth. So it's a very strong case.
Some Democrats claim the White House has a different motive.
This doesn't have anything to do with drugs or any of that other stuff. It's Trump wanting to exert dominance in the Western Hemisphere, A, for the sake of the power, and B, for the oil.
Outside, demonstrations against the U.S. getting involved in another foreign conflict. But some Venezuelans are happy to see Maduro face justice.
It's the most important thing because he has to pay for all the crimes that he made in Venezuela.
Maduro's lawyers are likely to argue the charges are illegal and that he's protected by sovereign immunity as a head of state. But the State Department notes the U.S. and more than 50 other countries have refused to recognize him as Venezuela's leader.